Robertson, and today we're doing simple interest. We are on page 167. This is our last lesson in the math book for this semester. After this lesson, we will be done covering the lessons in the math book. We'll go to volume 2. You'll have a new math book when we come back after winter break. All right, so we're going to go ahead and fill in our vocabulary words here on this page. And I stands for the word interest. P stands for principal. Principal is the amount of money you are going to borrow or deposit if it's in a savings account. R is your rate, and T stands for time, the amount of time you're going to have this money and you're going to borrow and pay it back. Okay, let's look at our real world link. Now it says Mrs. Ramirez is investing $400 in a savings account at a simple interest rate of 2% to purchase a laptop computer. She plans on investing the money for 18 months. Based on the real-world situation, fill in the blanks with the correct numbers. Write the rate as a decimal. Okay, the principal is $400. The rate written as a decimal is 0.02 or 200ths. They want the time in years. 18 months is 18 over 12, which equals 1 6/12, which will be 1.5 years. Any questions on that? All right, let's go to the next page. Here we have the formula for simple interest. I equals PRT. That means interest equals principal times rate times time. Let's look at problem number 1. Arnold puts $580 into a savings account. The account pays 3% simple interest. How much interest will he earn in each amount of time? In 5 years, you take $580 times 0.03 times 5. At the end of 5 years, he will have made $87. So without adding anything into his account, he'll have $587. Now let's look for 6 months. 6 months is 0.5. So you take 580, it's still at 3%, 0.03 times 0.5. He'll only make $8.7, but that's in 6 months. In 6 months, he will have had $8.7 added to his account. Now let's do A and B. A, Jenny puts $1,560 into a savings account. The account pays 2.5% simple interest. How much interest will she earn in 3 years? I will do the work for letter A over to the left side. So the first thing I'm going to do is write my formula. I equals PRT. On the test, you get points for writing that because you get points for doing each step on these problems. They're worth multiple points. So then I replace. I know my principal is $1,560. $1,560. Change your rate to a decimal. It'll be 0.025, and the time is 3. Any questions on what I just wrote? That would be worth a problem there. So you get a point for your formula, a point for the problem, and then you multiply this out, and you're going to get $117. The interest is $117. So after 3 years, you would have $117 added to the $1,560. Now let's go to letter B. Marcos invests $760 into a savings account. The account pays 4% simple interest. How much interest will he earn after 5 years? Let me write down for letter A the answer there. We'll do our work below. Interest equals PRT. We're trying to find the interest. How much interest? That's our mystery number, is the I. So you have 760 times 0.04 times 5. And when you multiply those together, your interest is going to be $152. Any questions? All right, let's go on to the next page. Interest on loans and credit cards. Here we go. If you borrow money from a bank, you pay the bank interest for the use of their money. You also pay interest to a credit card company if you have an unpaid balance. Use the formula interest equals principal times rate times time to find the amount of interest owed. Okay, Rondell's parents borrow $6,300 from the bank for a new car. The interest rate is 6% per year. How much simple interest will they pay if they take 2 years to repay the loan? Well, in 2 years, they're going to have to pay $756 additional dollars. So that's their interest. So at the end of 2 years, they would pay $7,056 for that car. Okay? Now let's look at number 4. Derek's dad bought new tires for $900 using a credit card. His card has an interest rate at 19%. That's a high interest rate. If he has no other charges on his card and does not make a payment, how much money will he owe after 1 month? Okay, so you're going to have $900 times 0.19. 1 month is 1/12. Do you see that? Times 1/12. So 900 times 0.19 divided by 12 is $14.25. So at the end of the 1 month, his interest is $14.25. So the total amount that he owes is going to be $914.25. Any questions? Okay, let's do C and D. So I'll do letter C over here to the right. Mrs. Hanover borrows $1,400 at a rate of 5.5% per year. How much simple interest will she pay if it takes 8 months to repay the loan? All right, so let's go up here. Interest equals 1,400 times 0.055. Does everyone see how I got that? Times 8 months is going to be 8/12. So what you're going to do is you're going to multiply this times 8 and divide it by 12. Okay? Excuse me. So let's do that with our calculator. Multiply those together and divide it by 12. You could simplify it to 2/3 too. But with the calculator, it doesn't really matter what the number, if you simplified it or not. Okay, did you get something like 51.3 repeating on your calculator? So the interest is going to be 51.3, round it to the pennies place. We're dealing with money. So it's going to be $51.33. What does the question want to know? How much simple interest will she pay? So the answer here is $51.30. They just want to know what her interest is. In letter D, we'll show our work for letter D below the problem. It says, an office manager charged $425 worth of office supplies on a credit card. The credit card had an interest rate of 9.9%. How much money will he owe at the end of 1 month if he makes no charges on the card and does not make a payment? So here they ask how much money will he owe? So they want the interest along with the purchase on that. So let's find our interest. Interest equals PRT. The principal, or what they have, is $425. The rate is 9.9%, 0.099. The time is 1 month, so that's 1/12. Okay? So we're going to multiply and then divide it by 12 to find your interest. So when you multiply them, divide it by 12, you'll get something, you'll get this. Now, what's the amount of money that I'm going to charge? It's going to be $3 and what? No, the 6 turns a 0 to a 1. $3.51. That's the interest. So at the end of the month, the amount of money, the purchase, plus the interest is going to equal $428.51. Any questions? Okay, let's go to the next page. On number 5, Lewis is taking out a car loan for $5,000. He plans on paying off the car loan in 2 years. At the end of 2 years, Lewis will have paid $300 in interest. What is the simple interest rate on the car loan? Ooh, put a star. This takes it to a new level, kids. Here, you know the interest. So under the I, you know the interest is $300. So this is the interest. You know the principal, how much is he borrowing? Is $5,000. You know the time is 2 years. What do we not know? The rate is your mystery. So it's going to stay R. Now you know what to do, kids. You have 300 equals 5,000 times R times 2. Well, you can take 2 times 5,000, and that's how they get the 10,000. Does everyone see that? So you have 10,000 with the R. Divide both sides by 10,000. Do you see that? You get 0.03, but you got to change it to a percent. 300 equals what percent? And you get the answer of 3% is your rate. Any questions on that? Well, let's do letter E. What is our mystery? Oh, what is the rate? We got to find the rate. So first thing I do, interest equals PRT. What's the interest? 390 goes under the I. What's the principal? 2,600. We don't know the rate, and the time is 3. Okay, so now I'm going to combine my like terms. 2,600, I'll put them in parentheses just to, times 3 will give you 7,800. Now, I got to get R by itself. What will undo multiplying? Dividing. And how do we show division? With the bar. So divide by 7,800, divide by 7,800 with the calculator. You'll get 0.05, and that will equal 0.05 equals R, so the answer is 5%. Any questions? All right, kids. Your assignment is going to be to do page 171, but I'm going to go ahead and put problems 1 and 2 up here in the guided practice, and then you'll have time to work on it's only 9 problems on page 171. All right, so let's look at this. The Masters family financed a computer that cost $1,200. If the interest rate is 19%, how much will the family owe for the computer after 1 month? Ooh, not 1 year, it's 1 month. So, interest equals principal times rate times time. And we're trying to find the interest. What did they borrow? $1,200. What's the rate? 19% times 0.19, and 1 month is 1/12. So the interest will equal 1,200 times 0.19 divided by 12 because it's only 1 month. You'll get the interest. Did you get $19?
Yeah.
Very good. Number 2, Samantha received a loan from the bank for $4,500. She plans on paying off the loan in 4 years. At the end of 4 years, she will have paid $900 in interest. What do we need to find? The rate. So, I equals PRT. We know the interest is 900, so under the I put 900. The principal is 4,500. We don't know the rate, but we know the time is 4 years. So, you combine your like terms. 900 equals 4,500 times 4, and that gives you what? 1,800 or 18,000 times R. Now, to figure out what the rate is, you're going to divide both sides by 1,800, and you're going to, it's not 1,800, it's 18,000, wasn't it? Yeah, that looks better. So 900 divided by 180, no, it's 18,000, yeah. Divided by 18,000 gives you 160, no, you get 5%, Mrs. Roberts? Yeah, it's 5%. I think I divided wrong, but you'll get 0.05, which equals 5%. Yeah, when you divide it out, you'll get the right answer. Okay, so now do the problems on page 117. Do all 9. Our test is going to be, as of now, we're going to start the test on Thursday of this week over chapter 2. Have a good day.